Yo, what's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new DB replay video. Here we have the finals of the 32-man luxury tournament that I hosted recently. First place will be winning a display of magnificent Mavens, and that's it, right? Winner takes all for this tournament. It was a free tournament hosted by Luxury Gaming. The first tournament I was able to host through them, and it went very, very smooth, I gotta say. And this is the finals. Both players currently 4-0 right now. If you guys want to play in tournaments like these for yourselves or in older formats like Edison or GOAT format tournaments, you know, they host all sorts of great tournaments with great prizing over on their Facebook page. And again, if you guys want to play in them, definitely check them out. I'll leave a link to their page down at the top of the description. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the video here. So we're going to see them tie a couple times the rock, paper, scissors, shoe. We will see Zupa Main win the rock, paper, scissors, shoe, and they will go first. Opening hands, here we have Shiren, Primal, Planet, Agito, Orange Light, and Bestial Magma. Keep in mind, this is old format, so if they're playing Orange Light, they're most likely playing 3 Orange Light. They have Druisworm, Planet, Magnamut, Shiren, Merly, both opening up 3 copies of the same card, so I mean, to be expected in the mirror match. They each opened, 2 going second cards, 2 Bestials, and then 1 Bestial and Orange Light. At least the Orange Light will be able to trade here with one of the Bestials. So we're going to start with Planet. Always an incredible card to start with. That card is absolutely bonkers and probably should not be at 3 by the next ban list. We'll see him normal summon Rhino-Heart and activate the Rhino-Heart and immediately dump a name. Could be trying to bluff to the opponent that they don't have the best hand here and they kind of need this to go through right away. So that's maybe why they're, using the early Bestial. And they will negate with Orange Light, and in response to Orange Light, they're going to chain Magnamut, targeting the Havness. So Magnamut will resolve, banishing the Havness. And then Orange Light will resolve, destroying the Druisworm. And on a new chain here, they'll activate Agito as Chain Link 1, and looks like they will be activating Magnamut effect. Could potentially play into a Havness that they have in their hand, but, it is what it is, I guess, right? So now they're going to each be forced to mill 5. So let's see what they have here. Zupa is going to go ahead and mill a Kelbeck, 2 Keldos, Medora, and another Orange Light. So they have 6 DD Crows available, so I guess they don't really maybe care too much about how much they're going to be milling right now. This turn off their own Kelbecks and stuff because they have ways to stop them. They mill 2 Kelbecks of their own, Instant Fusion, Heartbeat, and Keldo. Unfortunately, they don't have a Trap Engrave to add back. So we'll see how this plays out. They're going to activate Kelbeck, and it looks like if they'll activate their Kelbeck, they will. So both players going to be forced to mill 10. 5 from their own Kelbeck, and then 5 from the opponent's Kelbecks. So they're each going to mill 10 here. So we'll see who has the better mills. And we'll see. So they'll mill 10. They'll mill their 10. And then they'll mill the rest of their 5 they need to send. So, after all is said and done, they mill a Druisworm, a Planet, another Druisworm, Medora, another Planet, so all copies of Planet out of the deck, a Rhino-Heart, 2 more Kelbecks, an Orange Light, and a Keldo. So all copies of Orange Light are out of the deck until further notice, and they ended up milling pretty insane. They mill a Keldo, a Merly, a Havness, a Medora, another Kelbeck, another Havness, a Sarnier, a Rhino-Heart, a Scream, and a Havness. So Matrix definitely ended up milling a lot better here. But they definitely have ways to counter it. They have Medora, Keldo, and a Magnamut in hand, and they don't really have too much defense here. And they have Medora and Keldo of their own, so we'll see how this plays out. Not triggering, by the way. So it looks like they'll not be using any effects here. And I guess you don't really have to, I guess. Maybe you let your opponent trigger all their effects first, and then you just stop whatever effects they're triggering with your Medora and Keldo. So they triggered Havness, Rhino-Heart, Scream, and Sarnier. So let's see if Zupa has anything in response. It looks like Havness triggered Rhino, thinking if I want to do a third. Yeah, Havness triggered Rhino, thinking if he wants to do a third. So yeah, they're going to use Keldo in response. The Medora in your graveyard. So they're going to target the Medora in their graveyard. Possibly force that out, and they will force it out here. They're going to chain Medora in response to their Keldo. So this is chain link, what, 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, chain link 6. Chain link 6s are very, very commonplace. Your Keldos and my Instant Fusion. So putting back a very powerful one of and getting the rest of their sort of interruptions engraved. Yeah, they're getting rid of both of these Keldos. I mean, they still have 2 Medoras engraved too, so So it looks like that will all resolve. The Scream will still resolve for them, and the Serenir will still resolve. So we're going to dump a Druid Swarm and add Soliak. And then looks like we're back to just open game state right now. They're going to go ahead and activate Magnamut on their Merly. And then they're going to chain Keldo here. This is going to be another forced out Keldo. So they've used Medora and Keldo this turn. So now there's Shiren play here when it goes through. Can't be interrupted by anything unless they have another Bestial in hand. And it's also good because they didn't really mill that many tier limits, so they probably have a lot of tier names left in deck. I mean, they have a Havness Banish, they have a Shiren here, a Rhino Heart here, another Rhino Heart here, which means you don't really care too much about milling Rhino Heart. And it looks like in response, they're going to chain Medora, and they're going to put back a Kelbeck and a Rhino Heart, and one of their Kelbecks, and that is also going to trigger Planet, popping the Bestial Magnamut. And now we're going to continue on, finally. And this is why these matchups, these mirror matches end up going to time, and you end up people having siding time cards like Ghost, or not Ghost Mourner, was it Spooky Dogwood? Ghost Mourner. Something Spooky Dogwood, and the Skullmark Ladybug, and all of these things, because like look at just how long this one interaction has taken. I'm kind of curious to see. Like, it's already been 16 minutes, and we're still like on turn 1 of, it's literally still turn 1. It's literally turn 1. Oh my god, tier mirror matches. So let's see if he ends up He hits Crime, Instant Fusion, and Rhino Heart. So the Crime is nice. This can add back a banished tier limit, and importantly, Havness is banished. So that's actually huge. They do have access to a rank 4 here, or they could go for Dark. I mean, the Crime Graveyard effect doesn't really probably come up that much, but right now it's coming up clutch. Grabbing back, especially if you're grabbing back Havness. Like, that's just insane. So we will see him go for Dark, not opting to go for Dweller here. Dark effect targeting Magnamut. Magnamut effect on Summon. So they'll get a search now in the end phase of a Dragon. Be able to grab a Bestial. And then they're going to go for Sprine. And they're now going to... I keep forgetting about the Sprine line. So now we're going to go ahead and activate Sprine, activate Merly, and Merly is going to go ahead and Fusion Summon for Kit Kalos. It's crazy after all of this now, like literally after how many minutes, almost 20 minutes of back and forth, we're now finally starting our tier limit combo here by going for Dark. Like the Dark, like getting their Magnamut, getting a search, and then going into a Foolish Burial, and then oh my god, it's so good. So busted. They're going to go ahead and add Merly here, and they're going to get a casual mill 8. And let's see, they have to hit something off of this. They've already used Havness and Merly, so they're really only hoping to hit Shiren. There it is. They hit Heartbeat as well, and they do have a Trap in Graveyard, so they're going to get access to Crime, roll Kalos, and they're also probably able to make Sprite Elf here. So they're declaring Shiren. They click Shiren twice and Heartbeat. So they're using Shiren and Heartbeat and Crime. Or they're targeting Crime. Let's say they already used Crime. They definitely already used Crime. Yeah, it says declared tier limit's Crime, but they're just targeting it. So they're going to add back Crime, and then Shiren is going to resolve here, putting back itself and the Kit Kalos for the Ruler Kalos. And then they're going to set Crime. End phase doesn't look like they have anything. Well, end phase are going to search their Druid Swarm. So through all of that, still ending on Rule Kalos. Sprine, they could have made Elf here. I think maybe that was a misplay of them forgetting to make Elf. That definitely was a misplay. Because I imagine if they had like a Diviner engraved. And I imagine they're playing Diviner if they're playing 3 Orange Light. And they have Crime, especially main decked Orange Light. Even not main decking Orange Light, because I know a lot of builds like before the ban list were still siding the Orange Lights. Like maining Diviner also just like an insane normal summon, like level 6 tuner to get to Baron and dumps any mill 5. Kind of broken, so we'll see. I mean, they have 11 cards left in deck. We'll see if they're actually end up playing it or not. But they have Rule Kalos, they have Crime, they have Druid Swarm, and they could have had Merly access with the Sprine or the Elf play. They're also going to get in phase search, and they're going to draw Keldo for turn. Keldo in hand, not going to do too much right now. I mean, I guess they could just pitch it off their Shiren. So let's see how they plan to crack the board. Maybe you can take this one. That's on me. I'm not sure what happened there. They special summoned the Medora out of their graveyard. Ah, shit, might be you can take this one. That's on me. So I'm not sure what exactly happened there. Maybe it's they forgot to shuffle back the Medoras when they use the Keldo here. He's saying, yo, you never shuffled it back. And he's like, oh, my bad. Or I don't know. But we are into game 2 off of a technicality here, I guess. Matrix will take it. And that's really unfortunate because they ended on a really good board there. I mean, to be fair, Matrix also had a lot of gas in their hand to go into their field as well. Would it have been enough? Who knows? I mean, they also misplayed. I think they probably should have made Elf, right? I've never played Tier a moment in my life, but I usually see people make Elf, right? Maybe? I don't know. But we are into game 2, and we're going to say Superman go first again. They open up 2 copies of Druisworm, Ghost Spell, Heartbeat, and Merly. So they open up super poor here. Very, very poor hand. Merly Mill 3 is going to have to go in here. They have Ghost Reaper. That is also huge. And Havness. Really, really solid here. We'll see if they chain Havness in response. They're choosing not to. They're going to mill 3. They hit a Havness. They are in there. They don't have any Bestials or other hand traps to stop that. But they do have Reaper. And they're going to reveal Kikala. So now they're in an awkward situation where they'll have to fuse for a Mud Dragon. They'll have to go for Mud Dragon, or they'll have to go for what's his name? Garura here. So we'll see which one they decide to go for. They'll have to put back a Bestial if they go for the Mud Dragon. So they are going to go for the Garura. You can see how Ghost Reaper puts in a ton of work right now. They're going to go ahead and use Druisworm, targeting the Ghost Reaper. And they could make a Beatrice play here because, you know, this card happens to be a level 6. This card just doesn't seem to be... like, every day, like, this card just seems like a better and better and more insane card for this deck. Absolutely bonkers. And I believe the OCG doesn't have the Guru, which is kind of crazy. So they're going to go for the Beatrice, which is a great follow-up play here. They're going to chain Havness in response. So Havness will summon. Milling 3, they hit a Havness and a Rhino Heart. That's kind of huge. And now they're going to dump a Medora here. They're pretty much probably forced to dump Medora, honestly, with mills like that. And they're going to activate Garura. And then they're going to activate Rhino Heart, Havness, and I feel like you have to chain the Keldo, the Medora here to stop those. So they're going to hit the Havness and the Rhino Heart, and they're going to shuffle back a planet of their own. They'll draw, and they'll draw their, well, they'll set Heartbeat, and it looks like they drew another Ghost Spell. Not a bad draw, honestly. And the only way they're getting this Kit Kalos back is by getting access to Crime, which I imagine they knew where they were going first in game 2. That's probably still in the deck. I mean, they could easily use Beatrice to dump the Crime to the graveyard, and hope that Druisworm Bell is maybe enough to stop them this turn. They're going to start with Keldo, pitching Medora, kind of strong. And then they can add a card that mentions Exchange of the Spirit. So they'll add Kel back here, which is also kind of like a free interruption this turn. Help to push through the board a little bit. Normal summon the Rhino Heart. That's going to dump Havness. Havness effect, they're going to chain Druisworm. It looks like, I mean, they do have a Medora. They could chain the Medora of their own to shuffle back their Havness so their Druisworm does not summon here. It keeps them off a body and interruption. But it looks like they're going to let that go through. And now they have like another form of interruption here. The Heartbeat could also kind of go in, but unfortunately they did not open up any planets or heartbeats. Or, yeah, Heartbeat. Or not Heartbeat. That was Scream, that's the name. Looks like they're going to go for Dweller here, and that is kind of huge. They're going to activate Dweller. And, yeah, no sense in chaining the Beatrice in response because, you know, once that chain resolves where they send, we'll just not be able to activate in the graveyard. And now they're going to activate Shiren. Pitching Kelbeck under Dweller is absolutely insane. So they're going to mill 8 here. And they're going to mill Serenir, Instant Fusion, Cherries. And then the Kelbeck and Serenir are going to trigger. And imagine if they hit one tier name off of all of this and the bell just stops them. That'd be kind of crazy. So they're going to go ahead and send a Druisworm. And then they're going to start milling 5. Magnamount, Medora, Shiren. The opponent is also going to mill 5, and that's really bad for them. And, oh, there's the crime. Oh, crime hitting the grave right there. It's got to feel so bad because now they can't add it back. They add back their Kit Kalos, and they're going to activate Shiren, so they do hit a good name there. They only hit 1 name, though. They only hit 1 name. That's really unlucky, and they also have the Bell to stop it that they drew off the Garura. So that's going to kind of do it. They do have a Dark play available, though. So they're going to go ahead and Dark, probably for Magnamut. Or they're going to take Garura here. Oh, they don't have Magnamut engraved. It is, yeah, they don't have Magnamut anywhere. Which is unfortunate. No Magnamuts engraved, just Druis Worms. So they're going to take the Garura, and then they're going to go ahead and link into Sprined. And they'll get Sprined effect. Go ahead and dump Merly here. And yeah, there's always a Sprine play. I got to remember that. There's just always a Sprine play available if you have access to a Dark and another body. Given your opponent only has a Dark in their grave as well. So they dump Merly, get access to Kit Kalos here, Kit Kalos effect, and they're going to go ahead and see what they decide to search. They're going to go ahead and grab Soliak. They already used Merly here. I mean, they could have added Merly and done a mill 8, but I think they've already used all their names at this point, so that's not really worth doing. They're going to go battle phase here, and they will get the 500 attack boost on the Dweller. While this card has a material attached that was originally water, all water monster control gain 500. So this is a 200 Dweller. So that will be able to beat over the Druis Worm. They will not get the Druis Worm effect. They're going to activate Medora, targeting a Medora and Keldo of their own and a Magnamut of their own. And then they're going to set their Soliak and Pass, and they draw a copy of Medora for themselves. Standby phase effect Dweller. And that honestly might just be a wrap here. Let's say they could have used this, but I think this is only. Hold on, if this card is link summoned, if a monster is summoned, you can attach material for next. Yeah, well, they would need a material there, obviously. They're gonna go battle phase. They're gonna attack over the kit, and on attack declaration, they're gonna activate Soliak, and they're gonna chain Heartbeat in response here, and they're gonna shuffle that back, so they'll not be able to get rid of the Kit Kalos here, so they don't get the access to a mill 5. And, I mean, Underdweller right now, really not a whole lot you can do. They're going to go end phase, and they're going to ensure that their opponent has no Mudoras or Keldos active in their graveyard to make it so they don't really have any interruptions. Although Beatrice still being here is kind of a problem, I would imagine. Pass turn, draw Sarnier for turn. That's kind of a crazy draw. But they really don't have a way to play right now that I see. Unless I'm missing something. They're just going to go ahead and link into Elf. Okay, they do always have a play available. I'm just bad. So we're going to activate Elf. Elf is going to go ahead and target Dark. And we'll see what the play from here is going to be. They're going to go ahead and use Medora. Oh, they can just recycle the Sprine. Fair enough. That's always so broken, man. They're going to activate Saronir here, targeting the Garura in their graveyard. So they cannot fusion for a Dragostapelia right now. And now here they're going to activate the Druis Worm, or we'll activate the Beatrice attaching the Druis Worm. They're going to send a Medora here, and this will pretty much counter any plays they might have. Going forward here, they're going to activate Saronir effect after they crash, and that's going to dump another Druis Worm. Battle phase still swinging for 14, and the 1850 from the Dark. And they're going to go past turn there, and they draw a tier name. So things actually might start swinging back into favor here. For our other tier player, they're going to go ahead and pitch the Havness there. They don't have anything else, but no Medoras or Keldos here on the side, so they're able to kind of freely play here. Havness is going to recycle that in Druis Worm, go for Mud Dragon, overway for Redoer. Battle phase, attempt to attack over, and they're not going to use the effect because they don't have a target engraved, so good enough for them. And getting access to Redo here is kind of nice. They can use the effect here, attaching as part of effect. In the battle phase still, that's going to trigger Shiren, putting back Mud Dragon, and now they can go for Dragostapelia, and still in battle phase, swing over the Dark. That is, let's see, if this Link Summon card, so it's not Link Summon, so they will not get the effect there to search, which is huge, and they get Redoer back. Kind of getting a foothold here back into this game, and it was kind of crazy because it looked like the game was lost, especially after losing Kit Kalos to Cherries like that. They had just enough. Standby phase, they're going to take a Rhino Heart off the top of the deck, which would have been an insane top deck next turn. I guess not so much with the Dragostapelia there. They're going to draw Havness. They take a Kelbeck. Their draw is getting worse and worse now. Battle phase, attack over the Medora. Attack with the Dragostapelia for 27. putting him on a bit of a clock here. End phase. And it looks like they don't have anything. They draw Druid Swarm for turn. They take another monster there. Really unfortunate for them. Not finding any spells or anything like that. Or a trap to have as like an additional interruption. And they're going to think here. Think for a good while. And we'll just fast forward. And they don't have anything. And they're just going to pass turn. And they're just going to go right to battle phase. And they're just going to force. Well, they're going to activate a Medora. And your Medora's in dark. So I'm going to put those back. And then he's going to use Druid Swarm here, targeting their Druid Swarm. That'll summon to the field to be able to beat over still with the Dragostapelia. And Druid Swarm effect will send it off. Main phase 2. Activate effect of the Rhino Heart. And now they can activate Shiren. See what they end up going for here. They have their Mud Dragon is still... Yeah, Mud Dragon is in the extra deck now, so they can make Mud Dragon here again. They're going to have to, like, slowly reestablish... Oh, there's Dweller. They draw Keldo for turn, set Keldo, draw, and they're just going to go right into battle phase, and that is going to be it. That was insane. That was an insane game, too. I'm not even going to lie. And let's see how long this match has been going so far. 56 minutes, and we are going into game 2, or game 3. So... we're going to see Matrix go first here. They open up Havnus, Keldo, Planet, Rhinoheart, Solic. Pretty strong hand. They open up Agido, Rhinoheart, Solic, Medora, and Keldo. Also a pretty strong hand as well. So let's see how they play this one out. They're going to activate Pearl Rhino, grab Shiren, activating Shiren effect, pitching the Keldo. And they're going to hit a Merly, and they're going to get Solic as well. They're going to add a Merly, and they're going to go ahead and Fusion Summon here. No interruptions from the other opponent right now. That's kind of rough for them. They're going to go for the Mud Dragon play. And they're going to normal summon the Reinhardt, activate effect. Once they see that's good, they're going to chain Mud Dragon to call Dark. And they're going to activate Havnus. Havnus is going to go ahead and Fusion Summon for Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos effect to search out Scream. And then we're going to overlay for Dweller, activate Scream, activate Kit Kalos effect. And we're going to go for mill, like, what is this, 9, 10, 11. We're going to mill 11 cards. And they've already used Merly and Havnus. So now they finally find their ways to a Shiren. They also hit Kelback as well. We'll see if they end up actually using... and they hit a Scream, too. We'll see if they actually end up using the Kelback. It looks like they will. They use Rhinoheart and Scream. And they're going to chain Dweller as chaining 4. So we're going to go ahead and search out Crime. And then both players are going to mill 5. Milling Havnus, Medora, Druid Worm. Nothing too crazy there. And then they're going to resolve their Shiren. And they're going to go for a Kaleido Heart. And they're going to trigger the field spell. Popping the Kaleido Heart, and then Kaleido Heart effect, bringing itself back out and sending. And it looks like they're going to chain Agido. If a card is sent from the hand or deck to your opponent's graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card. Then you can special summon level 4 Earth Fairy monster from your graveyard, which they do have a Medora in there. So maybe kind of like setting themselves up for like an instant Dweller next turn. And now they're going to activate Keldo in response, putting back that Medora and putting back a Solic and a Kelback of their own. So they can't get that free body out of the graveyard. So that will still summon. And then the Kaleido Heart effect, bringing itself out, sending a copy of Heartbeat. Heartbeat effect, add back a Tutelment Trap. There was a Solic in there, and they're also going to get Kaleido Heart effect on summon. They're going to shuffle back the Agido, add back the Solic. And now they're going to go ahead and overlay, or well, link 2 for Elf rather, pointing to both the Kaleido Heart and the Dweller. And they can just go ahead and set Solic and Crime. And they're going to bring back the Merly. They're going to activate an Oracle now engrave, putting back a Heartbeat, a Scream, and a Pearl Rhino. And they're going to go ahead and set 2 and pass. They draw Shiren for turn. So yeah, let's see if he can beat Dweller, Elf, Kaleido Heart, and Solic and Crime with Havnus in hand, and Scream, and Pearl. Like, oh, it's just insane end board here. They're going to start by shotgunning the Dweller. And, I mean, this Dweller is, like, protected from pretty much anything because they have Crime set. So, like, this Dweller is resolving, which means our tier player above is probably not winning. They're going to activate, what was that, Keldo there. And they're going to go ahead and negate with Crime, activating Havnus effect. Havnus effect is free to resolve here. They cannot use their Medora because they are under Dweller. They're going to go for Rule Kalos, and the end board gets better. That's going to trigger Scream. Scream is going to go ahead and mill 3. They hit a Shiren and a Kelback. It looks like they will fire off both those. We don't care what our opponent's milling right now. We don't care how many cards because, again, they are under Dweller. And let's see what they hit. Another Keldo. Nothing really crazy. They're really bad mills for them. Very unfortunate. And they're going to be able to trigger Sharon, putting back Mud Dragon and Sharon. Or, yeah, Mud Dragon and Sharon for the Dragostapelia. And then activating Solik in the graveyard to go ahead and add back from the... Well, add a tier from the deck. They're going to add Rhino Heart for next turn. And they're going to normal Sharon and go to battle phase. And, I mean, I guess they get to clear the elf for free since they don't have any room to bring anything back. Including Dweller, I guess, is okay, even though it has no material underneath it. And they also, yeah, they forgot about Scream as well, and this is down to 1,300 because Scream is kind of a nice card. Suicide is badass. Fair enough. Yeah, so GG's there. We're going to see Matrix Teka ends up going 5-0 with his Bestial Tier Limit deck. Very, very well played, and the win was well deserved. So they will be winning a display of Magnificent Mavens. Hopefully they pull a Pharaoh's Rare. And how long was this match? 73 minutes and 32 seconds to be exact. What a duel. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. Again, huge shout outs to Luxury for allowing me to host this tournament and for making the content. And looking forward to hosting more tournaments and making videos and streams around them in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winner Kills signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And like always, a big thank you goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Pony Star, Cadillac 84, Justino, HH Cyber, and Misfit. Thank you guys so much as always for your extremely kind and very generous support of this channel.